gal, Violet here, second generation homeschooling mom of 3. I have an 8-year-old, a 5-year-old, and an infant. Today I wanted to share with you some of the books that we checked out in August. So let's get into it. So I'm actually going to start with a few board books. This is a new to us series, Our World. So they have several different countries, but we checked out Colombia because my husband is Colombian, so he kind of wanted to gauge how accurate they were, and it looked pretty good to us. They incorporate Spanish. They have kind of scenes from rural Colombia. This is from Bogota, the capital city. They have different cultural things. These hats are very traditional Colombian hats. My husband has at least 2 of them. Soccer, kind of all of the stuff that my husband associated with growing up in Colombia, he saw represented in here. So this was a really nice series for us to find. This next one is called Before We Eat, and I just really like the illustrations in this and kind of the very sweet little rhyme. It's all about how our food is grown and the people who work really hard to make and grow and pick and make sure that we have food in our grocery stores for us to eat. So yeah, this is just a really nice one. These next 2, Your Fantastic Elastic Brain and Good Night to Your Fantastic Elastic Brain. These are both growth mindset books. We've checked out this Fantastic Elastic Brain before and my kids really liked it. But this one was new at our library, and this is just about what your elastic brain does while you're sleeping. So my kids thought that was really interesting. This next book is a really cool pop-up book, Prehistoric Pets. So it just is what prehistoric animals different pets came from, essentially. But it has these really nice pop-ups. So my kids had a lot of fun with that one. This next book is called Mushrooms No. We really like both of these authors. Callie George and Sarah Gillingham probably did the illustrations. But we've really liked all of Callie George's books and all of Sarah Gillingham's books. Actually, several of Sarah Gillingham's nonfiction books are my kids' favorite read-alouds. Like, they ask for them over and over again. There's a Constellations one and a Periodic Table one that we read all the time. But this book was really cute, and it has a lot of interesting facts about mushrooms, and it's just, yeah, it was just really sweet. And I really like Sarah Gillingham's style. It's like all these cute little mushrooms that are still accurate. So this was a fun one, too. This next one is called The Ocean Gardener, and it's about a girl whose mother is a marine biologist and what she does to restore the coral reefs. And it's based on a true story. So it has kind of all the pictures of the things they do to restore the reefs, and then it has facts and real pictures at the back. So this was a fun one too. I always like when books like this have real pictures at the end so my kids can see what the illustrations are kind of trying to depict. This next book is called A Place Called America, A Story of the Land and People. And if you're looking for a more progressive version of like the Betsy Maestro series, this is a pretty good substitute, I think. I was pretty happy with how they addressed different things here, and I think the illustration style is nice, and it goes over, it's a brief overview of American history. So I don't know yet if we're going to incorporate this into our homeschool, but I'm really happy to know that it exists. So that was a cool find. The next section of books that I have for you are all math books that I checked out for my kids, mostly my son because I wasn't doing any formal math review for him, but my daughter enjoys all of these books too. So this one's called How Many? This one and this one are by the same author, and they're 2 of our favorites. We check these out a lot. They're very open-ended. So how many do you see in this picture? And you can count whatever you want. And so all the pages are set up like that. So you could count the eggs, you could count the spaces in between the eggs, you could count the holes. It just is up to you. So these are kind of fun. It's kind of fun to see what my different kids choose to count. My kids are very literal, so they usually just count the things in the pictures. But like my daughter has done fractions this year, so she was counting the slices to make up the whole in this picture, for example. So this is a fun one. And this one's kind of in a similar vein, Which One Doesn't Belong? And there's no one right answer on any page. So some kids would say this one doesn't belong because it's empty in the middle, but some kids might say this one doesn't belong because it only has 3 sides, everything else has 4 sides. So there's more than one correct answer on every page. So this one's really fun too. It's interesting to see how my kids justify which one doesn't belong. Yeah, we really, really like this one. This next one is another wordless book. It's just called Shapes, 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 and it's real pictures, and you're supposed to kind of identify all the shapes you see in every picture. So this is a fun one as well. I think most of these math books I got from Kate Snow's math picture books list on her blog, so I'll link those below. She has some really good suggestions. This next one is called Perfect Square. This one's a little bit less mathy and a little bit more artistic, so to speak, but it's a square that gets broken into pieces, and then kind of all the different things that the pieces of the square can do. This next one I got more for with my daughter in mind, but my son enjoyed it as well. Fractions in Disguise, Fraction Adventure. So it's just kind of all about the different ways we can use and see fractions. This book, Great Estimations, is all about estimating different things. My daughter, when we were going over estimation in math, she thought it was completely pointless, and she was protesting that she was never going to use it in real life. So I've been trying to bring more real life applications of estimation in. Like when we go to the grocery store, I talk about estimating prices, so you can kind of keep a tally in your head of how much you're spending, things like that. But I thought this book would be a fun kind of practical application of estimating. So they enjoyed that. And then this next one's really cool. How Many Jelly Beans? This is a visual, it's kind of similar to the estimation one, but it's a visual depiction of different numbers. And it culminates with this huge poster that's 1,000,000 jelly beans that I am not going to be able to fit in the screen, but it folds out and out and out and out. And then there's more on the back too. So all together, it's 1,000,000 jelly beans. So that was really cool for my kids to kind of start to wrap their heads around how much is 1,000,000. A lot. All right, now I'm going to show you all of the books that my daughter checked out this month. She has been really into, our library had these graphic novels reading lists, and I think these are from the American Library Association. I'll try to link them in the description box below, but they had them for different grade levels. So my daughter wanted to go in order and start with the K-2 reading list. So a lot of these books that I'm going to show you are from this list. The ones that she didn't highlight on here, actually, she's already read. So she wanted to kind of make sure she could cross everything off this list and say she'd read all of them. But most of them are well below her reading level because she's been reading for a while. But that's all right. I don't restrict my kids' free reading. So this first one is called Crackin' Me Up. And it's about this girl who brings a kraken to a pet show and has to get people to see that he's actually quite nice. So that was cute. This one's I'm On It. It's about the preposition on. And it's in the style of Elephant and Piggy. So it's not just on. It has a bunch of different prepositions, but on is the one they start with. Frog and Ball. Again, pretty simple. Not very many words on each page. I think my son actually read this one to himself. This is kind of where he's at with his reading. This next one is Baloney and Friends. I think my daughter has read this one before, but she wanted to check it out again. So this one's really cute as well. This next one's Geraldine Pooh and Her Lunchbox Too. And this one's just about how all the other kids tease her about packing what they consider weird food in her lunchbox and how she deals with that. So this was a good one for my kids to read. Fish and Sun. This one's really sweet. I remember my daughter reading this when she first was starting to read, but I don't know if she wanted to read it again or just didn't remember what it was, but it's very cute. Cranky Chicken. Not very many words on each page. This one has fewer colors on each page too. It's a little bit more calm. So if your kid gets visually overwhelmed, I think this would be a good one. But yeah, this one was just a sweet story of a chicken and a worm who are friends. So that was cute. Nugget and Dog, All Ketchup, No Mustard. Same kind. A lot of these books are, I feel like, fairly similar in terms of themes of friendship and kind of two funny, almost like Odd Couple type situations with chicken and worm and Nugget and Dog. And then this next one is Haley and Comet, A Tale of Cosmic Friendship. This one was kind of giving me Howl's Moving Castle vibes, which my kids haven't seen that movie yet, and they aren't ready to read the book yet, but I'm excited for when they will be able to. Hound Heroes, Beware the Claw. These are dogs who are superheroes. There's a whole series of these. You can see fairly minimal text. Banana Fox and the Secret Sour Society. So he's a detective and he has to solve various crimes, but he's a banana fox. essentially. This next one I thought was really cute, Fox and Chick the Sleepover and Other Stories. So it's a graphic novel, but it's separated into 3 distinct stories. So yeah, I thought that one was sweet. Boris the Cat, the little cat with big ideas. This one was kind of fun because it's kind of graphic novel-y, but it's also more like pictures with captions. Like a traditional storybook, but shrunk down. I don't know, it's kind of a funny cross between the two. Each page is its own story. So it was almost, yeah, I don't know, just kind of a mix between comics and a picture book. But that one was fun. My daughter enjoyed that one a lot. This next one is called Wildflowers, and I thought that the art in this one was really cool. But it's about 3 sisters who get stuck among the wildflowers, and they have to find their way home. This next one is called Cinderella Speaks Up, an untraditional graphic novel, and it's just a Cinderella retelling with a girl who's not interested in playing the traditional Cinderella role. So this one was fun. Fairy tale retellings are always a hit. Astronauts. These are 4 mutants who go to space. NASA sends them to space. So this is a really fun book. It kind of was reminding me of Bad Guys, just the way they set up the story. So my daughter really liked that one as well. All right, and then I think the rest of these are chapter books. So my daughter is reading Magical Animal Adoption Agency. This is the 3rd book. This is by Callie George, and this is just really sweet. This book is actually a bit more text dense than a lot of the other things that she's been reading lately, so I was happy when she picked it up again. She also started reading this Carmen Sandiego book, Clue by Clue. It has a little decoder in it. We don't pay for any subscription services, like streaming services. But while we were on vacation, she was watching the new Carmen Sandiego on Netflix. And so she was really happy to see that our library got this book in. And I like that it has some geography in it too, in addition to all the code cracking stuff. This next book, this is by far the thickest book my daughter has ever checked out. So it was nice to see that she's kind of starting to venture into bigger books. But this is Cat vs. Dog by James Patterson, and she picked it up because she had read this whole Dog Diary series also by James Patterson, and it was next to it on the shelf of the library, and it looked similar in theme, and she really enjoyed this series. I think there are 6 books in this series maybe, but you can see this one has larger text and a lot more pictures. So it's kind of nice that this series led her to finding that other book. She's also been reading these poems, Rolling in the Aisles, a collection of laugh out loud poems. I think I mentioned on here before that a lot of funny poetry I just don't find funny for whatever reason, but I'm really happy that my daughter picked this book up and is reading them on her own. She thinks they're hilarious, and it looks like a pretty good collection of poems to me. She's read me some of them and I thought they were all funny, and the problem that I have with funny poetry mainly is that a lot of the time it can feel kind of mean-spirited to me. I guess I'm just a lot more sensitive to that now that I'm an adult. I don't know. But all the ones that she read to me out of this, I thought were fine. I thought they were funny. My daughter also checked out The No Cook cookbook. She really likes cooking with me, and I have several cookbooks that I have on my shelf just for cooking with her, but it's kind of hot right now to be turning the oven on all the time. So we saw this at the library and thought this would be worth a shot. Unfortunately, a lot of the recipes have a lot of ingredients that my kids just don't like. So a lot of the recipes in here looked really good to me, but my kids weren't super interested in trying them. But we did make a few, so that was fun. This one was a hit. It's just apples with either chocolate or peanut butter spread on them and then various toppings. So yeah, that was fun. And then the last book that my daughter checked out, she saw this book called Chinese Menu by Grace Lin. And I think she was expecting it to be a cooking book, which it's not. What it is Grace Lin takes some very famous Chinese dishes and talks about the history behind them and pairs a legend or myth with each one. So here's a little history section, and then there's the myth with the illustrations, and I thought this book was really cool. We did not read the whole thing because it's pretty dense, but this I think is one that we're probably going to check out several times. We really like all of Grace Lin's books. So those are a lot of the books that we checked out in August. I hope you found that helpful. I will link everything in the description box below. I am an Amazon affiliate, so if you click on an Amazon link and make a purchase, I will receive a small commission. Thank you for watching.